Hello everyone and welcome. Today we'll be taking a look at quite a few viewer-submitted matches for the May 2025 Viewer Challenge. Yes, it is that time. Get ready, get excited here. In the upper right corner, the first match of the day will be played on Ultra Love. It is Kaiser. And their blue Zerg opponent here, the bottom left corner, belongs to Skiem. I think we actually get a moment here because especially I don't have my health bars on. We have a moment before things heat up, it would seem. We can check in with the Overlord action cam as we present the Viewer Challenge info. Alarak.
You waste both my time and your breath, and the former has value.
Thank you very much. As always, your consistency is impressive. The Viewer Challenge for this month, we are doing a bit of a step back in time. I tasked beautiful, willing participants for this challenge with remembering the good old days, the Wings of Liberty days, I say. Use only the units that were able to be made and used as in Wings of Liberty, yes. So, none of those good Legacy of the Void things like Adepts, okay? Lurkers, nope. And something for Terran, I'm sure. Cyclones, although I don't think, yeah, we can go with that, it's fine. So, Cyclones, Liberators, that was what I was trying to think of there. So none of those fancy Heart of the Swarm or Legacy of the Void units, no siree. We are going right back like it's 2010, although for some reason everybody has a lot more workers than we had back in that day, which I guess is a fine thing. There's definitely conflicting opinions whether or not we should go back to that time. That'd be a great argument to get into. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Should we go back to having whatever it was, like 6 workers? Brood War starts with 4. Okay, like, that's nuts. You guys let me know your thoughts here as we start to see compositions choices made. I will say for some, build some compositions, this really doesn't change a whole lot, which I know is weird for a challenge, but I also recognize that some things have become a bit more of a standard. I mean, a Protoss, you just send out a scouting adept. That's kind of the MO now. That's kind of just the autopilot is what I was trying to think. So how do you operate without that? Now, you might say Protoss, you might have to send a Stalker out very early, or maybe even forego that scouting entirely. No Oracle. Oracle was Heart of the Swarm. Think about the last time you made a Stargate and didn't go Oracle. Okay. Be honest. Be honest with yourself. Both of these two, though, neither one's Protoss, so we're going to see things that are definitely not Oracle related. The Terran has decided to go with the good old double front door tech lab do nothing build, because that is a classic in the I would describe lower metal leagues. The bunker completes and is able to reach, I think, everything but here. I think you could get away with leaving one Zergling here, but that's kind of pushing it, especially testing around this level, we could say. Instead, oh, I'm sorry. When were you all gonna tell me? That's a Ghost Academy. Okay, this is where things learn to be ghosts, which sounds a lot more morbid when I put it that way. I'm just gonna to do that. So just in case, we can do that really quickly. Yeah. All right, we've got ghosts from one player. Good old triple barracks, 1 factory with also a tech lab. No nuke just yet. And on the Zerg side, I like it much more. I see 10 drones in the production tab and not much else at that time. That's a good decision. blue Zerg here. They definitely know, I think, a bit what they're doing as far as Zerg builds, because you spend the first 5 minutes making drones and praying you don't die. They're up to 60 drones now. Like, as long as we nail the second portion of that whole don't die bit, 2 more Ghost Academies. As long as we don't die, I think the Zerg is probably doing fine. So far, they both are adhering to the challenge. I have absolutely no idea which of these people is involved with this. The Zerg so far has really just made a bunch of drones and appears to be going for roaches. We'll see if they go for Ravagers. That's a really quick disqualify, because Ravagers, of course, as I'm sure many of you know, Legacy of the Void. Good luck dealing with a tank push without Ravagers, I say. The Terran side, of course, we know. Alright, we know what they're doing. They're going for the thumbnail material here. Look at me, Indigos. Did you land a beautiful nuke? Alright. Nidus network. Seismic disturbance detected. Nidus worms inbound, I say. For the roaches, I'm guessing. Yeah, they got roach speed, making some queens, too. Excellent decision making. I'm impressed. Scouting SCV, is this the first scout? No, not the first scout, but essentially the most important scout. They spot the army here. The 4 ghosts have holstered their weapons, might I say. Yes, that is a button. That is something that you can do, so that they do not fire automatically and thus give themselves away. The Zerg players sending their roaches across, which is not going to bode terribly well. Do we even have any overseers? We have 2. There's 2 overseers. I don't know where they are just quite yet. Fire everything. Triple nukes on the way. The target is the main base lair. This is not going to be enough to outright kill the lair, but it might kill everything else. Vaporizing most of the main base, a follow-up nuke. Because they didn't do the math and realized that the lair has more than 1,500 health. Nidus Worm coming up in response. 2 ghosts looks like we'll be able to deal with it. Nuke is gonna drop, destroying the lair. Suddenly, chaos erupts onto the map. Ghosts running out of energy very shortly. The Nidus Worm completes. Not much coming out of it. Nope, the Battle Boys and 2 ghosts working together will be able to deal with that. Just a Zergling run by, basically. Handful of roaches here. Another nuke is launched. The missile silos back to back to back. There's 1 roach causing havoc in the base. The ghosts are still cloaked. Overseer just now shows up. They get 1 of the ghosts. They get both of them, just barely. Those nukes, who knows where they are now? Wherever they were facing at the time of the ghost demise, that is where they will wind up just going forever. On and on. Some say the nukes are still flying. Maybe they'll hit, I don't know, Tarsonis. Tarsonis has been through the ringer for quite the lore. The roaches, upset, furious at both the developments and the passive fauna, metal fauna, of course, on the map, decide to go across the other side of the map. There is nowhere near enough Terran to deal with this. Nuke yourself. I demand nukes on your own base. I will not be granted my desire, though. The Terran decides to tap out. The Zerg is the victor, withstanding a rather impressive barrage of nukes, but not a whole lot else. They will take that match. How did they adhere to the challenge, though? I'm pretty sure they both actually did plenty fine. They, we've got mostly just roaches and drones, perfectly fine. Terran active forces looking good. Units lost, likewise. Everybody actually adhered, did plenty fine. The Zerg was the submitter, but the Terran, an unwilling participant, perhaps. Onwards now to the next match. The next match shall be played on the map Incorporeal here. The blue Zerg player occupying the upper left corner shall be Dart. And their red Protoss opponent here, the red probes, the bottom right, it is GLHF. Thank you. Everyone actually so far very pronounceable names. No issues, no troubles abound there. Alright. I like to see it, and I like to see we have a Protoss in the mix, which means we've already gotten all three factions represented in a potential challenge scenario. We will get to see who really is the submitter, who really is the active participant here, or will they both, for some reason, be? Oh my. Such violent drones. Drones are usually much more peaceful, much more amicable, focused on their mineral gathering. Protoss have it tough, though, I will say. Just being Protoss automatically makes some guilty of some sort of crimes. The second probe is going to go out here. And where are you going? Oh. And this is why some people, I will say, just being Protoss, get automatically sentenced to some crimes and verdicts, because Protoss, okay, you all know it. It's a one word, but so much meaning. So many things coming from it, yes. What are we doing? Proxy? Proxy Stargate? We've got the core about halfway done. We would really want to make a pylon. I was thinking we're going to line this up to any amount of efficacy. We're going to really want to set up the pylon, get that Stargate coming up and running. Is it just like proxy Oracle? We just like, hey, surprise, 3-minute Oracle timing. The core has completed. We have enough money. But we forgot the plan. We forgot the plan. We're making a wall instead, which I do understand and can support, because Zerg are scary, yes. Nobody wants to have Zerglings in their base. It's a rather not fun way to die. Stargate is the choice, doing their best to try to hide it. I like it. There's definitely no overlord's gonna spot this real quick. In case you're a Zerg and you're playing on this map, send an OV over here, because this is a very obvious spot. Make sure you keep an eye on it. The Zerg player not doing their best at scouting around their area, but they are doing pretty good at making their hatcheries. Early economic plays coming up and running. What will the Stargate be for? I mean, I feel like Oracle is the proper choice, but if they are a challenge participant, that's automatically disqualified, so I guess maybe a Void Ray? I would like to see. It's not an Oracle. Based on the money, it is a Void Ray. Okay. Well, if this is challenge related, then well done. If not, I would say also well done. I'm a fan of the Pult Void Ray, I call it, because of the original Pult Viking, yes. Protoss can snipe down overlords pretty easily with this. The Zerg player adding on a rather early Baneling nest with no semblance of a lair on the way yet, which is a plan. We're getting both. Roach and Banes and lair, okay, and double Evo. I am not quite a master's degree in economics, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we probably don't have quite enough gas at this moment to support all of these things. Usually we would be adding on the third, maybe the third and the fourth gas if you're going to be this crazy. The Void Rays continuing to grow in number, it would seem. We're a little bit not quite ideal on that here. Why is this one turned off? Oh, it was supply. Duh. I was looking at the Zerg supply. I'm like, they've got like 40 supply free. I was looking at the Zerg. The Protoss, a little bit of a supply block. The wall constructed. The wall is their hope at not being discovered. They are making a lot of stuff over here. Really a Void Ray battery play. Now, see, here's a gray area. Because shield batteries weren't quite a thing. Is that, am I remembering that right? We're gonna need to take a look. Okay, hold up, we're doing research. Shield battery. I want to say it was Legacy of the Void. Yeah, it was Legacy of the Void. However, of course, my challenge information. Viewer challenge. I did specify only units, which means buildings are fine. So I will eat my own words, a little bit of a gray area I will call it, but I will have to allow it because my wording specifically said units. So there we go. I guess it's fine. We will just move past that. The Void Rays move into the base. We'll also see, are the shield batteries even really used? Do we even really see any use case for them? The drones evacuated, the Zerglings sent across the other side. As with our first game, suddenly chaos erupts onto the map. The battery at home is certainly going to be used. The Zealot in a bit of a panic, trying to get to a better spot, and that is a fantastic spot, I will say. Good grief, this choke point. The Void Rays retreat, seeing an overwhelming number of queens. The book club of queens. We've got the fleet beacon up and running, but we're once again supply blocked. Oh, my dear Protoss, your pylon timing and usage is harming you at this point. The queens, I think it's plenty of queens to be able to deal with this, but also, you know, not enough, because if you see this many Void Rays, we're not even transfusing, okay. Oh, one transfuse. This is so not happening. The Void Rays retreat, the batteries will be used, which I don't like, but I will allow it. I feel like this one was on me. Duped me. If this is true, if the Protoss is the submitter, then you duped me. You got me there. Paid more attention to my wording than I did. Queens. They're trying to make more queens, actually. Oh my god, we're building carriers. Great. And flux veins research from the fleet beacon. This is turning more into just a rather impressive Void Ray battery play. The queens having a bit of a tough time. Transfuses, they're well done, actually, targeting down the high energy queens here. Protoss, they should, I think, have enough. Drones evacuated, yet again a spire at long last constructed. We did 2 spawning pools. Double pool. Okay. Yes. The double spawning pool. Zerg player expanding like a madman at this point, which I'm not sure if it's an ideal or a desperation move. Carriers have arrived from the Stargates, will quickly join the Void Ray fleet. The front door, there is no breaking through this with just Zerglings. Absolutely not. Like, at the very least, make a dropper lord or something. Here, get a dropper lord and just drop 16 lings into the main base. Do something with that. The spire, in the natural, turning out to be a rather terrible spot for this. Is not going to, I think, live for very long. We have a lot of money. Do we have the larva for anything? And at this point, what do you make? I think you go mutas. I feel like you go mutas with this. Only 6 mutas on the way, though. That is not going to be nearly enough. Zerg deciding to respond by making more bases out and about around the map, which, even at this point, even Hydralisks would be okay. And I know that's a very odd statement, right? Oh, no. Just would fight them piecemeal, too. 3 mutas is nowhere near any amount of hope for this. The Zerg player crumbling. beneath the pressure of this Protoss Sky army. Making more carriers, the Nexus up and running, more static defense. Oh, breaking my Zerg heart here. They've expanded to everywhere they could. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bases. We have 9 bases and simultaneously no hope. Which I feel like is an achievement in and of itself. The Overlord Convention will be found, will be shut down, will supply block the Zerg actually. Zealot and Stalker randomly show up here. Are these the ones from the front door? Looks like it. This is a full wall, actually. Protoss deciding to really commit to their Protoss-y business. Just fully wall that off. Okay then. The carrier fleet has risen to near unstoppable numbers, especially when you give the amount of Zerg forces on the map. Have we lost the Zerg? No, they're still here. Just we're making 3 spires. This is where we're at now. This is what we've done with our time. Disaster. Calamity. Learning opportunities have gone out the door, out the window, down the drain and toilet all at once. The carriers flying slightly forward, interceptors doing their thing, picking off every biological creature in sight. Spore crawler. The spore crawler desperately trying to keep track of the interceptor it's shooting. Oh dear. I just don't see really any hope here. The Zerg player, they've got 7 corruptors on the way, but there's 8 carriers. Okay, let me put that into perspective. There are more carriers than corruptors. We are witnessing the slow, agonizing demise of a Zerg player who is undoubtedly frustrated and will shout various words pertaining to both Protoss and profanity. And I think we are quite fine to just speed through this. The Protoss player clearly showing their colors, clearly what they were wanting to do. Active standing forces, definitely within Wings of Liberty requirements. They have their carrier army, their sprinkle of void rays, and accidental few ground units, I will say. A GG goes out from the Zerg, tired of their abuse and bullying. The Protoss will be the victor here. And just reviewing everything, their losses still well within requirements. Zerg player, I will say, also well within the requirements. The Protoss, I mean, the serious gray area I have with this is the batteries. Like, that was my bad. I will own that one. Because I said specifically units. Okay. Which means buildings, I guess, are completely okay. We allow the batteries. They were used. But there was also, I will say, no hope for this Zerg. Even if there were no batteries, I do not see this Zerg winning this. So I will absolutely give that to you. I will own that one on myself. And I will say we are moving on to the next match. The next match of the day will be played also on the map Incorporeal here. A blue Terran shall occupy the upper left this time. It is Master. And their red Zerg opponent, the red drones, the bottom right, it is Burbot. Burbot, huh? Whoa, hold up here. What are we doing? Oh, he said I'm T for Terran. That's exactly what a Zerg who wants to 6-pool me would say. We also don't start with 6 workers anymore. We're showing off our Wings of Liberty colors here. Knowledge, yes. We indeed do not start with 6 workers, not anymore. But apparently the scars still linger. Our dear mutual Zerg friend here, Burbot, has been hurt in the past. He was hurt by the dreaded 6 pool, which, luckily for Burbot, will not be coming. Kinda miss those days. Oh, me too. That's where this challenge was born from, you know. I tasked beautiful viewers with remembering the good old days. Wall was great. Oh my gosh. This is perfect. What a good conversation to have. Fantastic. I love it. Look at me. Inspiring social relationships, building conversations, and general camaraderie before we slaughter each other into oblivion. Yes. Perfection. The internet as it was meant to be. The Zerg player starting things off here. They've got their Natchery up and running, going for that lovely third. I feel content to just speed through the early bits of this. The Terran. That's a tech lab. Intriguing. Intriguing choices. Will this Terran be just as ghost flavored as our first one? Be hard to match that, I will say. The factory's gonna sit on the tech lab. Cyclone? Siege tank. Ooh. Okay. I like it. Absolutely. I'm on board. I quite like the premise, the endeavor. Marine goes over, finds the Overlord here. Overlord will find the high ground, though. It's over, Marinekin Skywalker. You cannot best me. The Marine's like, yeah, I actually can't. All right now, so I guess you just have a nice day, then. Siege tanks. Oh, what is this? I'm so giddy. I like this premise. Triple factory. Why are we going mass siege tanks? Are you looking to just die to 10 mutas? Well, I hope not. We are making a decent amount of Marines, too. Now, thinking about some of the other Terran things, we know Cyclones, Liberators are no-goes. From the factory, though, there I will definitely point out, no Widow Mines and no Hellbats. Hellions are fine, but Hellbats are a no-no. That still leaves a decent chunk of options, though. I mean, Marine tank can be just relatively untouched and has been a legitimate thing since the 1990s. We're moving out here, moving across. The siege tanks are going to find that Zergling occupying the watchtower. We'll give a little bit of a warning here. What a ragtag army. We don't even have stim. No shields, no stim, no upgrades. Just a bunch of siege tanks. I love it. The Queen's eating most of the tank shots, which is probably both the best and worst choice all at the same time. They're not going to take a whole lot of extra damage without being armored, of course. Well, the Roaches are going to do terribly against this. The Terran player, unknowingly, or perhaps knowingly, building the optimal counter to Roaches. Now, we probably should get some Ravagers. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier on the Zerg side. Like, you know, a handful, we could call it just a dozen Ravagers. Cleans this up with relative ease. Our 5 Marines and 1 medevac here. Oh, that's some fantastic health insurance spread. Ooh, the siege tanks do a bit of a leapfrog at an inopportune time. The Roaches get to close the distance, close that gap, get on top of the tanks, and we'll be able to clean everything up. Not without some losses, for sure. Oh, well. You proud of yourself, medevac? Just watched them die. Pick them up, get them out of there. No? Really? You gotta hand it to her. She's really trying to just park here. Like, this is my parking space, okay. Like, there's a Zerg base here, but that's my parking space. You know who I'm talking about. The other medevac, I'm gonna go with somehow stumbles and fumbles their way into the Zerg's main base, dropping a few Marines here. We have reinforcing siege tanks. Ah yes, this is what we need. 6 Marines and 3 siege tanks. This'll get them. The Zerg players scrambling for any sort of tech paths, tech options, I will say, going for tunneling claws and burrow, which are both plenty fine as far as my requirements. Siege tank production continuing behind this. Marines on the way. Decent amount of roaches. Roach speed finished up, which is going to give them a nice little scuttling boost as they try to clean up all of these siege tanks. Even 1-1 is done for the Zerg. Oh god, the Queens. The unsieged siege tank attack turning out to be rather successful. This medevac can pick up 2 of them. Could do a little bit of fancy pickup micro, but I don't think it's going to be quite needed. The tanks are going to set up shop again. The roaches. Ugh. Oh, the hesitation on the roaches is going to wind up costing them a fair bit here. They were waiting for the Zerglings. The Broodlings get to help out too. The friendly fire from the siege tanks doing quite a bit more harm than help at this point. The Zergling flank from behind will not be successful. These tanks are still standing. 11 more roaches because they've done really well so far. Okay, roaches clearly not ideal. We going for the bludgeon strategy. I do love that one. Dealing with Terran mech. You're like, God, mech is so efficient. There's no way I'm going to take any cost-effective battles. And I go, yes, that's the point. Okay. Rogue, I think, did it best. I got the idea of watching Rogue play. The Roach Corruptor Bludgeon. Ooh, look at the Burrow micro there, coming in handy. Will not be truly successful at destroying everything of the Terrans, but you have to admire the efficacy, getting rid of, what was it, 4, maybe 5 siege tanks there? Zerg player in a bit of hot water, desperately trying to get out some more roaches. I think we're just going to wind up kind of dying because we're trying to beat them with just roaches. There's not really a whole lot of other things happening. The roaches, they don't deal with the Marines terribly well, and when the siege tanks are already set up, it just becomes a bit too much of a grinder. At this point, I mean, the thing... Hydra's not too fantastic. If we're trying to adhere to challenge requirements, I would say probably mutas. Lingbane muta would be the best way to go about this. I do like the burrow micro. The tunneling claws and burrow combo is doing quite well. Marines going to drop into the main base. They appear to have lost their medevac support, but it's not like they need it. What they lack in health insurance, they will make up for in ambition and confidence. Spore Crawler rooting to help deal with the Marines, offering some emotional support for the now very unsupported Queen. 4 Marines still stand. Roaches, a little slow on the draw, but they will try to get there. They will deal with it. Only lost 1 of the macro hatches. Marines pushing forward into the Natchery. We are witnessing once again the death of a Zerg here. Roaches, one last hoorah perhaps. Not even enough, I think, to deal with the Marines. The siege tank fire. How many tanks are we rocking? 10 siege tanks. Who needs stim? Who needs shields? Terran player using their eyes and, more importantly, their map packs spots the tunneling claw roaches. It's just a continuous grinder. There is just no point. GG will be called, will be thrown out. The Terran is the victor of this round with, I will say, a rather well-played game. I quite enjoyed that here. They're still playing. Ending the match, we see Marines and siege tanks. In the units lost, we see Marines and siege tanks. Apparently they accidentally built 1 Reaper at some point, but quickly got rid of that, so totally fine. The Zerg player, 95 roaches were thrown away in this grinder of a game. That's a staggering number of roaches, okay. 95 roaches traded for 13 siege tanks. That is very good for the Terran, I think. Both of them, though, adhered to requirements fantastically. The Terran definitely the submitter, I think, based on the victory, but a well-played match. Well, I was certainly entertained. It's been a while since I got to enjoy such a chorus of siege tank audio, so thank you for that. That is not all, though, folks. One more on the menu. The final match of the day will be played on the 2v2 map Undercurrent here. The red Zerg player, the bottom left, team number 1 shall be Night. Their green Zerg ally, to confirm this is a custom match, it is SAK. S-A-K. Team number 2, the upper right, a purple Protoss. It is Speedy Rogue. Zergling portrait, love it. And their light pink Terran ally here, the far upper right corner, is Spin. With also a Zergling portrait, I will say. Bonus points around. Did either of you? Oh god, you had one too? But you lack my favor now, Red Zerg. How dare you? How could you? Green and red, we've got Christmas Zerg here in the bottom left, and we've got pink-purple non-Zerg. Okay, we at least have all 3 factions represented, and at least one of these individuals will be going for a Wings of Liberty flavored strategy. Good old strategery, yes. Light pink SCV, the first to hit the map, it would seem. We have Zerglings on the way for red in a surprisingly high number. Green spawning pool just now finishing up. They are going for a queen first. Okay. What will light pink see here as the SCV? The Zerglings on an attack move command, though, will get distracted by the scouting SCV and will also tip the hand. Light pink now, I believe, the first to probably know that Zerglings are coming. We saw something here. Oh, we've got an alternative language here, a non-English match, which means I get to flex my translation skills, yes. We have Ben T, which is undoubtedly, I'm Terran, yes, we know. We've been able to establish that. We will continue our linguistics lesson after the Zerglings are dealt with. The Zerglings appear to have been dealt with via retreating. Second, we had... Alright, here we go. Alright, you ready? Oh, no, okay. I'm waiting. I will wait. I am nothing if not a patient sort. Okay. More Zerglings coming. I see green heading out onto the map as well. So the Zerg players here deciding to go with the good old Zerg team game strat of Zerglings. Yes. Okay. Great. Perfect. I'm sure that'll go really well over time. Not even the vibrant magenta fish are intimidated by your Zergling strategies. Okay. Nothing is going to happen here. The Terran, adding on the best of Terran units, as I'm sure we all know and love, the supply depot wall. No, I'm kidding, the Marines. They're going for combat shields first, it would seem, which is usually an aggressive play, but actually I would say a fine option if you're just not going to be getting a lot of medevacs. If you're just not going to be healing a lot, then Stim becomes a very do or die kind of upgrade. Combat shield's a little more reliable. Raising and lowering the depots, making sure that SCV can get out. We have a lot of Zerglings showing up here. Do we have a Bane Nest? We do not. No Bane Nest, which means they're probably not really going to get anywhere with this. This is not only a full wall, but on the Terran side, it's a double wall. Okay, for double the defensory. Defend. Oh no, lower. We're trying to lower the depot. Trying to get the probe out so that they can expand. Purple Protoss here feeling a bit ambitious with their decision, deciding, yeah, now's the time. Well, the Zerglings, the green Zerglings go for the surprise attack. Red and green working together slightly there, perhaps accidentally. Cancel the Nexus, kill off the probe, and shut down Purple's hopes and dreams of ever expanding for their next 32 ladder matches, I'm sure. Zerg. Well, feeling victorious, actually, from this decision, it would appear Red is heading home. Pink, the next to try to expand with an on-location command center. Don't tell the Zerglings. Now, where was I? Okay. Yes, Ben T, undoubtedly, I'm Terran. Tegan Zerg Gaik Kutkaren. I'm going to go with probably they're both Zerg, but I also kind of want to just throw in something for the end there. Good grief, the surround is violent and wildly successful. The Zerglings finally, I think, get their opportunity to surround a bit of Terran forces, chew apart every bit of Marine armor they can. Where was I for the 19th time this match? Yes. Every Zerg player is a Karen. That's what I'm going with. To which I will take personal offense. How dare you? Okay, I love Zerg, and I hate talking to any sort of person, especially managers. Hydralisks somehow show themselves, lurker larva perhaps more likely. Although I will say Hydras deal with Void Rays reasonably well, just not when the Void Rays have an even count and there's no focus fire, no Queen support, and we're fighting piecemeal. And we're hitting the Stalkers. And we made Hydralisks. I hear some ambient noise, like a frog, in this match. It's both distracting and awesome, I feel. Spore Crawler, gonna get more damage than the Hydralisks could ever have hoped to do. Kills off a Void Ray. The Spore Crawler, massively successful. Light Pink shows up with... I'm not even sure this is more Marines than we just lost, but they've got stim, they've got medevac support, and they've got plenty of confidence to move on to the creep, apparently. The classic remastered Hydralisk skin here. Excellent choice, I will say. I quite like it. Red and green, you guys are just kind of matching each other, huh? We got, oh, we're making Zerglings, and then, oh no, we're not making any more Zerglings. Now we're making Hydralisks. Okay. Well, the Hellodralisks, apparently. What does a very polite Hydralisk say? Good day Dralisk? What do we call a... I gotta work on the wording for this one, apparently. I'll have to think about that one. We'll table that one. We'll come back to that one in another viewer game, I suppose. Let me know your thought in the comment below. What do we call a polite Hydralisk? Have a good day Dralisks instead of hi. Let's have a good day. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws here. Okay, back to the game. We have a disqualifying factor here. A lurker den. Although the building is fine, because apparently I botched that one. We'll see if they actually make any lurkers. Green, I think is still fine, though. No, they're still fine. They've got their Hydralisk den. They're working on plenty of upgrades. Pink, we've got a lot of Marines. An accidental couple of Marauders. Concussive shells here. Zerglings. On a bit of a rally there, will not find too many opportunities, too much success. And Purple Protoss going for the good old team game Protoss. army and composition of void rays and carriers and hoping I don't die to anything else. We got the Terran music going. Congratulations to the Pink Terran. The music gods have deemed fit to bless you with Brood War Terran music. We've got eBay's here, working on those upgrades. 2-2 actually on the way. Terran player on point with some of their choices. Get their things together. I think the issue right now is probably mostly money. They have a lot of barracks, but they're not really supporting it. Hey guy F harassing. Okay. Guys, harassment's not good. We have classes about that. Okay. Be polite, be professional. And send your Marines out anyways, I suppose. That was clearly, I'm going to harass them, obviously. Which also somehow translates to, don't lose our entire base, Mr. Protoss. I'm leaving. It's now your responsibility. Destroying the hatchery with ruthless efficiency. Green's army, the first to respond here. Pink, well aware of the coming defense, though. And with the forces split like that, it is not going to go very well at all. The Hydralisks melting before the Terran bio. Is there an upgrade advantage? No, it's just a unit advantage. Terran bio is just that darn good. Disqualifying factor spotted. Lurkers have made it onto the field, which is going to both remove the red Zerg from my eye as a challenge participant, as well as complicate things for anybody that hasn't built a unit that rhymes with the carrier. Okay. They do already have the answer, though. Air forces are plenty fine. The issue is, getting them. Come on. Protoss is like, but I'm not maxed out. I'm at 184. The Terran's like, oh my god, please. Okay. Tagging carriers up there harassing. Alright, we got it. Get over there and deal with got FF lurkers. Okay. Clearly, I should work in linguistics, I know. You can let me know how great I'm doing down below, I suppose. Max. I told you the Protoss was like, I'm not maxed yet. I can't move out until I have 200 supply. Deuce du Anval. Which was, I'm guessing, Purple Protoss for Unleash Hell. That is a lot of Hydralisks, though. They're getting slightly distracted, not quite focusing fire on the forces, and just take out the interceptors at this point. Light pink is making their move as well on the far right side. Now green was already quite dealt with by pink earlier. Red came a bit too late to really help them out. They lost quite a few bases. They just don't have the money. Look at the supply. Green is just not quite where they need to be. Purple, moving around. Carriers arriving exactly when they intend to. Carriers just like wizards after all. Hydralisks stumble their way here. We've got more lurkers, which is not going to help out up against the air units at all. That dash really could have been used a little bit better. Try to get underneath the Protoss forces. The lurkers need to just kind of get into a spot to try to shut down the Terran army here. Ooh, yep, the lurker spines will definitely keep them at bay. Protoss tries to move in, make their move, help out their friend. I think now we're not only witnessing the slow, agonizing demise of a Zerg, but two Zergs all at once. Yeah, not looking great. The carrier count still standing strong. The Hydralisk count working quite fast towards absolute zero. Well, is that it? Oh, we've still got the lurkers. Lurkers trying to morph in. Terran players stimming their army rather heavily here. Hatchery will be destroyed. High ground will not be secured just quite yet. Burrow the lurkers. A scan goes out. Oh my gosh, it's still so bad. That was so bloody. The Lurkers rather successful at trying to deal with most of the forces, but not nearly successful enough to deal with everything. Team number 2 are the victors here. Now, to witness for challenge participants. I will say light pink, Terran, is the submitter handing me this replay. Did they participate? Did they adhere? They did, magnificently. Marines, Marauders, Medevacs, and that's it. The good old Terran M strat that we've had since 2010. Their purple Protoss ally, I will say, also adhering. Void Race, Carriers, Observers, 95 probes. Good grief, well done, actually. Losses show similarly. Green also adhered to this. I'm not sure if they were intending to or not, but they did rather magnificently. 73 Hydras. Good grief, the amount of Hydralisks thrown away in this match. Red's the only one who definitely did not adhere with the presence of Lurkers, but I'm going to guess they were actually trying to win. So we'll just give that to them. Other than that, though, I will say well done, well played to everyone involved. This challenge, yeah, full disclosure, I knew it wasn't something that was supremely difficult when I came up with it, when I decided to enact this one for this month. I knew it wasn't going to be like a, oh no, how am I going to do that challenge? No, my goal was more just to kind of make you think about compositions or the flow of gameplay rather differently. Like, for example, Protoss not being able to make an Oracle. Like, okay, what do I do now? Back in the day before Heart of the Swarm, we didn't even have Oracles. So we went with the, things like that Pole Void Ray I mentioned. Just kind of making you think differently about your matches. Wow. I'm thinking this used to be a Lurker, and he is definitely thinking differently about his life choices. Yes, absolutely. Thank you all, everyone, for the submissions, of course. Magnificent games, well played. And thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to let me know in the comments below. I hope you all have a great day.